Hello, dear ones. You have made it to Making It in Maine. I am Suzanne, if you haven't been here before. If you haven't, welcome. And for my returning folks, thank you so much. Yes, while I am less mobile, I am just trying to do things that don't require a lot of standing. I guess I could be sitting at my sewing machine, but I just don't have that in me right now. This whole pain in my foot, ankle, yada yada is, I don't know, I guess just wiping me out a little bit. But we're not going to go into that again. I've been thinking about my little yo-yos in the basket quilt that is waiting for me. And I thought, well, maybe I could work on the yo-yos. And I went searching in my sewing room because I was quite sure I had a yo-yo maker. And I searched high and low and finally found them, but they're not yo-yo makers. They're pom-pom makers. And I don't make a lot of pom-poms. I made pom-poms for a beautiful chevron baby knitted blanket that I made, but I haven't made any pom-poms since. I don't know why. And I'm sure I must have gotten these at a discount price, maybe at my discount, what do you call it? Surplus store. Because I can't imagine I would have paid full price for these. It's a little redonky donk that I have them. So I will have to just cut out circles like you normally would. No big deal. While I was upstairs in my sewing room, I got the purple and green quilt that I mentioned in my previous video. Oh, how appropriate that I'm wearing purple today. Heart there and heart here. And from my heart to yours, we're having this quilty chat. Here is the purple and green quilt that I was talking about. And it's all quilted. I machine quilted it, just, crossing each square. And the border, I stopped because I didn't know how I wanted to quilt the border. That is one of my greatest challenges with quilting, is to know how to quilt it so it looks the nicest, be it hand quilting or machine quilting. Well, dear ones, if you have any suggestions, please leave me a comment, would you? I'm kind of thinking that maybe I'll just do some circles or something. I don't know. And also let me know, do any of you struggle with how to quilt your quilts? I know I can't be the only one. I'm sure I'm not, because I think I have seen posts or maybe even books. How do I quilt my quilt? Yeah, I'd like to know. All right, well, so that's about that. Yeah, where is the? I had the border, I mean the binding with it, but I don't know where that went. But I'm going to use this same fabric for my binding. I love a churn dash. A churn dash is one of my very favorite quilt blocks. Yep, this is a lot of reproduction fabric in here. Not all of it, but some of it. You can see some Joe Morton. Yeah, so that's up. The binding fabric is right in my lap. Oh, lordy. Lordy, lordy. Here it is. Here's the binding fabric. I love that. I think that might be a Judy Rothermel. And no salvage, so I can't confirm that, but I do believe it is. I do believe it is. Could be wrong for sure. All right, the other thing that I got while I was upstairs, because it's something I would dearly love to finish, and it's another Joe Morton pattern, and I have been watching this sweet YouTuber. Her channel is called Lala D Stitches. Her name is Laura. I don't know if you've visited that, but if you haven't, I highly recommend it. Yeah, and you know, the lesser self that as a Buddhist I try to scrape away, and I just did it because I mentioned her name and her channel. Sometimes we're afraid of sharing things because we'll lose or we'll miss out. Oh, maybe I shouldn't mention her because people will go watch her instead of me. And that is a thought that comes from our lesser self. It doesn't come from our Buddha nature, our highest self. So that is one of the beautiful things about my Buddhist practice is it's all about our human revolution and becoming the best versions of ourselves, possible. And that's what I strive for every day, is to be my highest self. So anyway, go visit Lala D Stitches. She is prolific. Her videos are very long, but, you know, I feel like I'm, you know, just listening to a friend, or I just love all things quilty, so I don't mind listening to her videos while I'm knitting or stitching if it's very long. I would far rather be doing that than watching television. That's just me. Anyway, she does some quilting with reproduction fabrics. Her husband, that seems to be the fabric that he likes the most when they go into a quilt shop. He gravitates to the reproduction section if they have one. And she does lots of bright stuff too, but oh, she is prolific. Her work is incredible. She worked in a quilt shop for years, my dream job. But she's done some Joe Morton quilts, some of her little quilts. And she has some of her fabric too, I think. But I think she recently, she got some Joe's little, I don't know the name of the books, but some of Joe's books that have patterns of her little quilts, like Like that one up there is one of Joe's little quilts. Anyway, she showed this in one of the books, and I don't have that book that she has, but I took part in a Joe's Little Women club years ago. So as part of that club, you got various patterns, and so this was one of the other ones, and this is one. So I was talking about echo quilting in my last video, about the echo quilting around my pineapple table runner, and how I thought I would go 1/2 inch echoes, and then I decided no, that's way too far. I feel like this, yeah, you can see that. I feel like that is a good distance for an echo. Yeah, that might be 1/4 inch-ish. So I have all the echoing done for the center of the quilt, but I didn't know how I wanted to quilt all this part. I believe I started, yes, right here. I don't know if you can see that. I started doing this. I think I thought, well, let me just do a cross. Yeah, I've got a cross in both directions. I'm not sure that it shows up. Shows up in one direction, but it doesn't seem to show up in the other direction. But anyway, it's there, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm content with that. I can also see that I went around the outside of the block also. There again, dear ones, if you have some brilliant idea, should I do something different, or should I just continue with this? Yeah, just don't know. This is, Joe had a paisley print, and I liked Judy Rothermell's better, so I chose Judy fabric. Much of this, well, I guess, yeah, this is Joe. The paisley she had like this was much bigger, more like that, not as small as that paisley. But I was going to say I thought most or much of this was Joe fabric, but it isn't. It's just various bits from my stash. So let me know if you have ideas for how I should quilt this, and of course then I'll be wondering how to quilt this. If you have any ideas, please let me know in the comments. Okay, and back to the topic of echo quilting. I'm recording on my laptop, which I don't normally do, and it keeps starting to go to sleep on me. All right, so we have this echo quilting, but here's the one I mentioned in my last video that the echoing was way too close together. And that is this one. I don't know, it kind of adds really neat texture, but holy moly, does it take a while to complete. And when I picked it up this morning, I haven't worked on it for quite a while because, I don't know, I just got bored with it, I guess. But when I picked it up this morning, I was like, wow, it already has a hanging sleeve on it. Why would I have put the hanging sleeve on it before doing this quilting? Well, I believe it's because I was just going to hang it without doing all that echo quilting. And then I decided that wasn't a great idea. So there you go. So I may have to remove the little hanging sleeves so that I can echo quilt these corners. But I could work on the bottom corners, the bottom part until I get there. All right, applique in the center. I love applique. And while I was searching around for my non-existent yo-yo maker, I found these in my drawer. And this was a class that I started years ago. Why did I stop? Lala D stops a lot too. So we're sisters in that department. I will put a link to her channel. I'll try to remember to put a link to her channel down below. But these blocks that I'm about to show you are come from Kim Deal's book, Simple Blessings. 14 Quilts to Grace Your Home. And, look at that. Oh, I love this. Speaking of my love for Churn Dash. Look at, whoopsies, I'm showing stuff I shouldn't be. Lala D is very good. I don't usually show a lot of books and stuff, but she is very good at covering stuff up. Let me cover it up with this gorgeous piece of Judy Rothermel fabric that I may decide is going to be the outer border for my yo-yos in a basket quilt, because I haven't sewn the borders on yet. So look at that gorgeous fabric. Oof, so pretty. Anyway, look at that gorgeous Churn Dash quilt. Oof, love it so much. There's so many beautiful things to make. That's what I'd like to be doing 24/7 pretty much. I'd like to have, as much as I've loved to cook over the years, I would love to have a private chef who will cook me amazing, healthy, delicious food. Because right now I do it all on my own, and I would just like somebody else to do it for me now. All right, let me, pardon me, let me get to the quilt. There are my pieces, they're my template pieces. All right, here it is. Let's see if I can show it without all the other stuff. There it is. It's pretty. Whoop duty, as my mother would say. Yeah, so let me show you. You're getting a little bit thready around the edges. There's the first one. And these were machine appliqué. I much prefer needle turn appliqué, I have to say. And these were machine appliqué using a monofilament, which I had never used until this class. And I don't care for it. I mean, it's nice in that it barely shows if you're not going to do, I mean, if you were doing needle turn applique, it wouldn't show, but if you're doing machine applique, I guess it's great because it, you know, it really doesn't show up. I think this was also the first applique that I did, because this was like one of the very first applique projects I did, I think. But it was the first one where you cut out some of the fabric. So it just, you know, reduces bulk in your quilt. Anyway, I think that block is super pretty. And here is this one. Pardon the threads. Guess I should clip them, but I don't have any scissors at hand. But there's the next one. Obviously gets flowers on the end of the stems here. I'm surprised the stems are so straight. Go back and look at that pattern. Ah, yes. So at the end of the stems, get those flowers. Okay, so you've seen two. Here's the third one. And this is my least favorite because I'm not a fan of quilting with black. I mean, it's nice, it's pretty. That black fabric is, you know, quite nice. I really like this fabric. But yeah, it's just not my favorite. But I'm not going to do another one, you know. We sometimes just need to finish things and not worry about all the little details. Yeah. And here is the fourth one that is not done because I don't know why, but I've got a center. Let me turn it this way so it that's the center circle I will use, I guess, although I could change my mind. Yes, and then it will need two smaller circles in the center like the others. Yes, wouldn't it be nice to finish that? And this comes from, oh, I probably should have brought one of the patterns down, but it's I showed this in an older video too, I think. It's a whole bunch of blocks that get put together to make a quilt with a very elaborate border. And I reached a point, I've done, let me see, 6, 12, 13, 14, 15. Looks like I have done 15 out of 24 of the blocks. I'm not sure why I got stalled on that. I'm sure there was a reason. But I don't know what. And just, you know, just if you're new and don't want to go back and scare up that previous video, I'll show you some of my finished blocks. They're in Ziploc bags right now just to keep them from ending up with all these fraying edges. I guess I should have put those in something. But that's why these are in Ziploc bags, to keep them protected. This is one of my favorites. Try to minimize the glare. I love, love, love that one. This one was obviously one of my favorites, or I wouldn't have chosen it to hang. I had a thought about that. Oh, I know. I was initially thinking I would frame it. And then I decided, gosh, to get something framed, it's so expensive. I'll just put a border around it, a binding on it, and hang it up like that to save money. Anyway, that's a big favorite. This one is one of my least favorites. What does it remind you of? I'll tell you what it reminds me of. And you can leave a comment down below if you saw it when you first looked at it also. It reminds me of a turkey for some reason. Kind of like the head of a turkey. Gobble, 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 gobble. Reminds me of a turkey. This is another favorite. I love this one. Love, love, love. There's that one. Elegant Garden. I believe this quilt is called Elegant Garden. I really like this one too. I love that color, that cheddar. Cheddar. I think that was called Cheddar and Cherries, maybe. Yeah, oh, I particularly love cheddar and blue together. Yeah, pretty, pretty. Purdy, purdy, purdy. There's that one. I do love applique, needle turn applique. Hold on for a sip. Let's see what my tea bag says today. I'm feeling quite a bit perkier and better today than I did yesterday. Maybe I got a better night's sleep, and yeah, I just got really tired going off to appointments. My sister took me to appointments 2 days in a row, and we stopped at a grocery store so I could pick up some things for when she wasn't going to be here. And I was scooting around the store on my mother's walker. But just, pushing yourself and hopping around, it was exhausting. I was tired yesterday, so I'm very pleased to be feeling perkier today. All right, my tea bag says, every neighbor can be your teacher. Won't you be my neighbor? You can be my neighbor and teach me, tell me how to quilt those quilts I showed you, so I can finish them. All right, here's this pretty one. This is another pretty one. I really should finish these and maybe enter them in a quilt show. I've never done that before. That one's pretty. There's that one. A fussy cut. fussy cut this fabric. These remind me of something, but I can't think what off the top of my head. Yeah, this wouldn't be one of my great favorites. I think mainly because I don't care for that brown fabric. I don't really care for that one, or I don't know if this is the same. Yeah, not my fave. Not my fave. Oh yeah, there's nothing on the back of that one. There's that one with some more fussy cutting. Text print on that. I do love text print. Don't have a lot of it, but I do like it. And nothing on the back of that one, and nothing on the back of this one. Pineapple block. I thought that was quite appropriate for the body of the pineapple. There you have it. I just thought I'd pop on and mention some things that were talked about in my last video. And while I have the energy, hope it won't be long before my next one. Hopefully in my next one I can report back that I have gotten more done on my... I'm going to take this foolish necklace off. It keeps getting in the wrong spot. Hopefully I can move my yo-yos in the basket quilt forward before I come to you again. What else was I going to say? I don't remember. Maybe it will come to me. Well, dear ones, I hope you're having fun in your sewing room. Yes. And if you are a subscriber, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, be super grateful if you did. Totally up to you, but be great so that my videos get pushed out to others who are interested in seeing what I'm doing in my sewing room and seeing my fabrics and chatting about quilting. Yeah, so thumbs up if you enjoy what you're seeing here. In the meantime, from my heart to yours, dear ones. Bye for now. I just came in the living room to sit on the couch and put my leg up, and I decided to do an internet search for the Elegant Garden quilt pattern, so I could put an image up for you, and it took me to Laundry Basket Quilts. I love her fabric and her patterns, and I guess I didn't realize or hadn't looked at each little pattern for so many years that I either spaced out or didn't pay any attention to who the designer was, but it's a Laundry Basket quilt pattern, and I say gonna a lot. I'm going to put a link in so you can go and look at the quilt, the finished quilt, so you can see the borders and everything. And then she has it hanging on a ladder, and it looks stunning on the ladder. Seeing it like that really makes me wanna see, there I did it again. Makes me want to continue and finish it as a quilt. So that means I would have to redo the block that I've been echo quilting around. I just saw a thumbs up come on my screen, which is very strange. Oh, is that because I did something? Let me see if I can do it again. Yep. Wow. Okay, let me try a heart and see if a heart pops up. Nope. Nope. That's an upside down heart. Oh, let's see. What's the other way? No. I don't know. I've never seen anything like that before. That's a little freaky. Let me see. Very strange. All right. Carry on.